What is going on, traders? This is your boy Vlad coming with a July recap video. So July was definitely record breaking for me. I was able to do 5 figures. So final number was $10,585.57 profit, which I am so humbled by it and so blessed. Because with my new process, I try to be done trading, at least in the morning. I try to be done by 10:30. Um, then after 10:30, I like to take a walk, do about a 2 to 3 mile walk. Then come back later in the afternoon just to check in on the market to see if there's any overnight swings that I could potentially take. But usually there's not, so I'm pretty much done for the day. So I'm gonna get right to it. The first trade is actually gonna be my biggest loss of July. So I lost $1,692 on that trade. And one thing that I did realize about this trade is I can't, go full size. Well, not even full size. I shouldn't be using this type of size on a higher stock price yet until I get the movement for it, until I get become comfortable with it. Let me show you the trade and show you what happened. So for alt, this was the first red day setup, and on it, let me show you the what the stock was doing. So it had one, two, three, four red days. I mean, 4 green days, or 3 green days prior to this. So I'm thinking, okay, this is gonna be the red day, since the stock was gapping up right here, gapping down right here. So I mean, my average, I think I did a really good job, because at first, on the first candle, I want to say I got in around like 19, because the red green was 2024. So at first I waited. It it wicked up and it came back down, and I got in around like the 19, I think like 1980, and that was only with maybe 200 shares. So I waited, just wanted to make sure that this was gonna go red. Then on the next candle, it wicked up. Once I saw that it wicked up and it came back down on this push. Once I saw this was failing as well, I went ahead and slammed in 800 shares short, and the stock looked like it was gonna fail. Um, so since it looked like it was gonna fail, like I said, I went full size, and I'm trying to be patient, 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 patient. The mistake that I did was not put a hard stop, because normally especially for something trading like this, I would recommend having hard stop. And for the hard stop, have it listed for market, because by the time I was able to react, because I was frozen once this big candle went, I was sitting there frozen. At one point, I think I was down maybe like close to close to 3 grand on the trade, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna wait for a pullback to be able to get out. Pullback happened. I was still stubborn. I'm like, nah, maybe this would still work, because it actually got back to 21.8. So once I saw it went back up here, I was like, yep, this thing is might gonna squeeze out again. So I went ahead and covered like at the top of this candle right here. So very, very, very avoidable trade. Um, Two things, like I said, that I made a mistake on was my size. With stocks that this is what I'm noticing with stocks that's trading above like $10, there's definitely a big spread in between. So imagine me having 1,000 shares. So 1,000 shares, that's $10 a swing per penny. And normally the spreads, like how you seen on level two, that's how the spreads be. So one way you're up, let's say if you attack the bid, you're already down like over $100 if you did 1,000 shares. So one thing about it that I'm starting to notice is on those stocks, it's better to scale in small. Then once the stock is below the VWAMP, go ahead and slam it, and do full size. Cause or else you're gonna get this squeeze like I did and end up losing $1,600 when it could have been avoidable. Cause really, had I just put my stop loss, because my stop loss I would have put it at 2050 or 2055. Because as soon as it hit, it automatically triggers, and I'm going in with this squeeze as well instead of me covering somewhere at the top. So that was all my biggest loss for the month of July. Um, Now this CVLB, and again, it's breakouts for me, guys. Like I don't know why I wanna I wanna try to do breakouts so bad, because I know a lot of people are making tons of money buying the breakouts, but for me it doesn't work for me. Like I tried lower price breakouts, um, in the pennies, that don't really work for me. Um, Tried the higher price breakouts, and I have mixed results on the higher price breakouts, but it's not significant enough for me to be able to consistently make a huge profit on. So CVLB on this stock, I bought it end of day at $1.09. 6,000 shares, $1.09. And I was expecting, a gap up, but instead of getting a gap up, we got a gap down. So it was on this day right here. We got a gap down. And for about a minute, I'm thinking, okay, Vlad, just be patient. This is going to work out. You know, nope, got the total opposite. It flushed, covered, you know, not covered, but sold around like the $1.01. So that quick, lost $500, $504 started the day. And you have TPTW, same thing, lower price. I had 488,000 shares on it, and it was the same result. Like the stock, I'm thinking it's gonna be a breakout. Instead, got a gap down, and on the gap down, it was all she wrote. I want to say it was on this day here. Yep. On this day, it was flushed out. So, and one thing about it too, I already knew breakouts wasn't my forte, wasn't my cup of tea, because that's how I became a profitable trader. Because and also too, guys, if you guys are not tracking your trades, tracking your results, um, it's gonna be harder and harder for you guys to become a better trader, because you got to know what's working and what's not working. Um, so this is just a prime example. Me starting out, when I was losing, being a losing trader, I kept playing breakouts, and for some reason, I didn't know why in the world that I see other people being successful. I'm not being successful as trading as a whole. I didn't pinpoint breakout was the key factor of me not being successful. So once I started tracking it, I seen that breakouts were not working for me. I eliminated breakouts. And once I eliminated breakouts, my winning percentage started going up, and I started to become profitable. As easy as it sounds, track your trades. Find what setup work. Find what setup don't work. Focus on the ones that does work. So fast forward now a year later, I'm trying to go back into breakouts. And again, I'm getting the same result. $916 when I was trying to buy the breakout. Bought it the night before, gap down, had to sell for a loser. Only one breakout worked, and that was TOMZ that I played this month. And I bought TOMZ on this day. And yeah, the next day it gapped up, felt a little bit, then ran back up. So I made $1,000 on that breakout. But overall, OTC breakouts does not work for me. So I'm eliminating it again from my plays. So another thing that I noticed that I was doing wrong in the month of July is the tickers. When I have like a lot of revenge trading going on, like BOXL. I got squeezed on the short there. And this was my fault. Like I said, this could have been avoidable. I'm still trying to learn how to size in big into a trade, so that way I could start seeing bigger profits. So I learned a very good lesson on BOXL, and I'm gonna share that with you guys. This was on, let's see what date it is, the 14th. Okay, 14th of July. So on this day. It's the 15th. This is the 14th. So with this is I consider this a day too short, especially when the stock is gapping up and it starts to gap down. Um, I like to draw, my lines. But one thing that I did forget about this stock here, I want to say it was on short sale restriction. So with that being said, I couldn't attack the bid. I only had to could only attack the ask. Go back to here. So on this, I was scaling in small size, small size, small size. It got here and it actually reached one of my lines that I had drawn in where I thought where the top was going to be at. And once I saw this candle, um, I started going in those over here. So I'll scale it in. And once I saw it hit the top here and it started doing this candle, I slammed in full size on this candle here. The mistake that I made, and this is the rule that I had to place in to put in part of my trading process. If this is not below the VWAP, there's no way I should be going in full size. Because if I do that, I'm just asking for it. So I'm in full size at one. I think at the time my average, well, I guess I can see what my average is. Should have been like 193 or something like that. 194, 195, 195 with 2,800 shares, and I'm in full size um, on this trade, and had my stop at 215, and yeah, as you can see, it grind back up on me. Had to take a loss. Took a 500 and what was it? $548 loss. Something that could have been avoidable had I just kept my starter position like I did and waited till it got under to confirm it got under VWAP. This loss would have been a lot manageable, but instead I took a big loss. So, well, bigger than what I normally like to take. Then from there, I went on a revenge trading mode. Every time I was so frustrated at this loss and the mistake that I made, I started revenge trading. So I went back, shorted again, and the time that I did get it right was actually the breakdown where I could have made all of this back. But once I saw that I was finally profitable on the trade, I was like, yeah, let me just go ahead and take the profit. And then maybe 10 minutes later, this stock had a total collapse. Uh, and I missed out on, $1,000. So it was, and surprisingly, when I shorted it when it was under VWAP. Under VWAP late day, and it had this fade. So yeah, missed out on it, but oh well. Definitely a learning opportunity for me. Um, Next trade that we have available was CLSK. Same concept as well, too, guys. As you can see, like I don't know, for some reason I took it personally with this stock, and I just felt like, and this started the day before, lost $235 on it, and the next day came back, lost 70, came back, lost 329, came back, lost 248, then lost 130. Like I just kept trading this stock over and over again. So eventually, I think I took one more trade on it, and I only made 76 bucks. Avoidable again. So I'm gonna try to I'm gonna implement a new trade concept. If I lose, twice on this ticker, just take it off my watch list because clearly I'm not understanding what this ticker is doing. Instead of me trying to keep revenge trading. So I did this trade happen on the 31st, so the last day of the month. Um, so now I'm going over some of my biggest winners. Um, UAVS. This was a very good trade for me. It was the first red day pattern. I mean, very simple. Um, and what date was that on? UAVS. All right, this was on 7/17. Hopefully this is helping somebody. All right, 7/20. Oh, 7/17 was the day before. All right. And one thing I've been noticing too about first red day, sometimes you would see this, the white line that's prior day's close, so that's the green red line. So saw this stock, it tanked and it reclaimed. Once this is what I like. I like it to breach over red green, reclaim it, because on the second time that it tries to break the red green again, that's normally is going to be the failed top. And not to mention, you could even see the if you draw the trend line, this drew a very 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 good trend line on this stock. Let me extend it to the right. So all I simply did just waited till it got close to the red green. If I was wrong, I was gonna stop out right here. So I went in full size automatically. Red green snap, and boom, and I just covered into the. I didn't cover perfectly, but I did have some pretty good cover. So I covered at 314. So with the $817 loss for first red day pattern. Kodak. Um, I traded it twice, made money both on it. On the both was short. But this, I think, first time I shorted, I only made like 20 bucks, and that was on the first day that it went parabolic. And I wasn't gonna stick around to, to try to see what it do. So Kodak, if you're not familiar with it, the stock went from 2 to 60. I shorted it on the 30th, the day that it went red. And these are all my lines of interest that I drew on it. So hopefully you guys could see it. Let me see if I could zoom in a little bit more. All right, this is a little better. So my trade was just centered around VWAP. And one thing that I did about Kodak, and I think I was very, very prepared for it, I went in and watched BPTH or BT, whatever it's called. It was the same pattern. Matter of fact, let me show you a side to side, so that way you guys could see it. I think it's BPTH. Oh, matter of fact, I got a picture of it. Let me just pull up the picture. And this was so unreal just to be able to see like how much alike this ticker was. Alright, just bear with me, guys. Alright, it is right here. Guess I'll have to take off some of these lines. Maybe I could just, I really don't want to take these lines off because I'm still going to trade this next week. Alright, here it is. Yeah. And if you guys are not using the on-demand feature on Thinkorswim, you're definitely missing out. You should definitely use it, and that's what I did on BPTH. Here's the full screen. You could see this went. This was back in 2017, I believe, or 2019. I'm sorry. So I went parabolic, hit the top, then it went down, then it had the halts, came back up. So looking at that, now looking at this, almost the same exact pattern. So once I saw it, I went ahead and looked at day 2 to see how BPTH reacted, and for the most part, the second day reacted the same way. So that's how I knew to go short, because I knew it was gonna, once it had this drop, then I knew it was gonna come back and try to retest it. I wanted to, since I wasn't 100% sure, but like I said, the night before I did watch on demand what BPTH did, and it did this same fashion. Once I saw that it was under VWAP, I had a little bit more confident. So I went ahead and sized in. I didn't even size in. I just slammed it since it was under VWAP, 500 shares. And the only mistake that I did on this, I could have covered a little bit better, because at one point I was up like 1,500 bucks on Kodaks, but I didn't take the profit because I wanted to see a bigger swing. But then I realized when I was looking at BPTH that it was gonna have one more swing back, and once I realized that, that's when I started covering here. Unfortunately, on BBTH, it actually got way back up here on BBTH. But for Kodak, it only reached this mark on the swing back. So my idea was gonna wait till it gets somewhere around here to be able to go in on it, but it never happened. So I missed this, and I was clocked out because I was gonna wait to do the red to green move, green to red move. And notice what I said before. It'll wick out. Then on the second one, that is like the confirm for the breakdown. So I missed this part of it. But overall, still a very good trade. History repeats itself in the stock market. Um, and this is, 2020, and you're getting seeing the same thing. So that was one of my big trades on Kodak, um, IBIO, and TNXP. I traded those two simultaneously because IBIO was the sector leader, and it was COVID, and it was a breakout. Now for breakouts, I could play breakouts on Nasdaq. For some reason, OTC, I can't get it, or I should say, it's challenging. I don't like to use the word can't, but nonetheless, I did leave a lot of money on the table on this. I bought this after hour for majority of my plays, especially if I'm gonna buy for a gapper. I like to buy after hour just to make sure that the stock is running up. If I have to buy a little bit higher, that's perfectly fine. Um, I just don't want to, have that loser as soon as I buy it after hour. So bought it on this day because it broke out this area right here. So that was the breakout. This had huge volume, as you can see. I have it highlighted here. Huge volume, and over time with breakouts, what you're gonna see, because it had 260 million in volume on February, but this consolidated for about 4 months, 4 or 5 months. So all the bag holders that was in here, they got eliminated. Once they got eliminated, I knew the breakout was going to be a really good one, and especially on this day, it had pretty good volume. It fell. Then on this day, I think I bought 2,000 shares, gapped up the next morning, and I just sold pre-market, so I missed this whole run up. I saw TNXP. It was doing the same thing. It wasn't really a gap up though. I mean, not a gap up, but a breakout. But I saw that a couple of tickers were moving with IBIO after hours. Since I saw that, did the same thing. Bought it around like 7:30 Eastern time, before 30 minutes before the market closed, and we got this gap up. And of course, I sold too early. I sold pre-market as well. Yep, I sold pre-market around, once I saw it was under, no, it was still over. Once I saw this drop here, sold like right around here. Pre-market, got out, and for those plays, made 2,400 on IBIO, and I made 2,200 on TNXP. So last trade was UAVS. Actually, I already went over UAVS. All right, so that's pretty much it for the month of July. So 10,000. They actually averaged this up a little bit. Had a 70% winning rate, which is pretty awesome. I think this March was my lowest. Still profited 47%. I think no, July was the highest. January was the highest, but nonetheless, 70%. Um, Overall, I am up $42,000. So pretty good. Um, so yeah. Profitly for some reason, like I said I think they really don't care. On Profitly, they have me for 35,000. They don't have all my trades from the month of for from the month of February and January. They don't have all of my trades, as well as a lot of my 2019 trades. So yeah. So yeah, this is Vlad signing off. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. If Yeah, hit the like button. I'm a little exhausted now, guys. But yeah, this is Vlad signing off. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your morning. It's August. If you didn't crush it in July, the month of August is here. Follow your rules, follow your process. If you don't have rules, you don't have process, build one or learn from someone who do have some. And most definitely track your trades if you want to become a better trader. So this is Vlad signing off. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your morning. Peace.